A reason I asked that is because I've watched a bunch of different YouTubers who do like deep dive Digimon stuff. Not a lot of people know this information.
Yeah.
And so I was like, how does not anyone know like why they combined these 3 films together?
Right.
And I've seen the other Japanese films like later on where they do like Omegamon X and Yggdrasil and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And I've watched the Japanese and I was like, but they didn't combine those films. So why was this one? But I remember just the same amount of fervor as like going to Pokemon, getting those little cards that you got with Digimon, and like I forget the little cartoon they had before with the
Angela and the Conda.
Yeah, with the cartoon faces.
They were really pushing that.
I smell a future episode.
No, I mean whatever.
No. Again, Digimon the movie is even more bittersweet than Try Guy for me, and there's a whole episode just on this movie. If you want.
We'll have to bring you in for the Digimon.
He's like,
Digimon.
no.
Not the movie, but Digimon the first season.
But I mean, the making of this movie was very difficult because I wanted, basically, because in my director's cut, I left that last part out altogether, and it just didn't make sense to me. So their big thing also was it's got to be 80-something minutes for our theatrical release, and I came in at like 78 minutes, and I didn't know they were going to put a 20-minute Angela Anaconda trailer on before, and I'm like, that's 20 minutes. That's
hey, man.
Over 80 minutes right there. You could have used my cut.
Wait, time out. Time out. You see me sometimes on the internet. I know you may not be on it as much as I am. Are you telling me I have to #release the Nimoy Cut?
Yeah.
Are you telling me I have to do that?
They don't have it. It doesn't exist. Fox Kids doesn't exist.
I can cut it, and then I'll put your name on there and say it'll be Jeff Nimoy's The Digimon.
Tom and I will get in the editing bay. We'll make it happen.
I'm telling you. Because so people who haven't watched it does, the way you say it, the way you pitch it just right now, it does make sense because it is 2 stories and it has a time jump, but it bookends at a point where it's like, it's about these kids and Highview Terrace, and then all these kids now in the entire world see the events.
Right, and here's the other thing. I had Ty narrating, but Ty's not in the third part.
Because it's Davis.
Right, so I had to have Kari, who's in all 3 parts. I had to have Kari.
Because she's the thread.
Right.
She's the common thread between all of it.
Which, I didn't want it, but whatever. It worked.
I mean, I will say this as a Band-Aid in order for you to put that in there. That's a smart move to have her. So
look, I'm just glad 20 years later people are still talking about Digimon the movie. No director can complain about all you want to do as a filmmaker is make a movie that will have staying power and that people will talk about it and keep going back to watch. And Digimon the movie, I hope Famish has the kind of staying power Digimon the movie has.
I watched that multiple times during last year because one, it came out last year.
Right.
And then 2, I had to have my roommate watch it immediately because I was like, dude, shut up. This is going to make you feel good.
Yeah.
And you're going to be at your worst and this will bring you out. And you mentioned that with I made this long blog post and all that stuff because I was at a really low point when I watched that movie. And right after that, I was like, I'm not in a low point anymore. It was it's really good, and
I got some family members in on it. Yeah,
it was. It's.
I loved your when we watched it here and did a podcast right after. I loved your all reactions. I kept coming back to you because I was sitting over there and you were there. I kept looking back at you.
I was in it, man. I was so in it. It was just. It's like there's things you watch with friends and you're like talking to them. But I was just like, there's nothing else happening right now. I'm watching this movie. It's wonderful. Like Tom said, like it's almost impossible to feel in a bad mood afterwards. And it's just this. I don't know. It's a big heart.